Today on the channel, it's the return of the Kyle Peterson Top 5 list, and why it may not be Monday, it's always Mr. Monday Night. We're doing the Top 5 RVD figures. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5 list. Every Thursday on the channel, we count down something, and this week, Mr. Monday Night Rob Van Dam gets the honor, as we're going to count down my 5 favorite RVD figures of all time. Going back, looking and getting my list together, I very easily could have done a top 10 list. Maybe we'll do that down the road, something like that. But RVD, an all-time favorite of mine. I'm a kid that grew up as a teenager watching ECW. I worked a job starting at 14 years old. I've never been unemployed. I've been working since I was 14, and I paid for my own DirecTV for my own room in my house just so I could get ECW as a teen. That's how dedicated I was to the ECW product, and one of those reasons, outside of Terry Funk, of course, and some of the other guys over there I absolutely love, but Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam, was a huge part of that. I loved RVD and their Sabu feud, into their tag team, all the way up to the end of days of ECW. I was an ECW diehard in the central part of the United States, which wasn't really ECW country, but it was what it was. It stole my heart. It never let go after all these years. So RVD is always a special one to me. Always happy to get RVD figures. Going way back to the ECW original San Francisco Toy Maker figures. We'll do some talk about those. We'll probably do some deep dives into those lines. We'll talk a little bit about those. So I think that's interesting in my perspective on those, especially back in the day. It's funny, a lot of people have little rose-colored glasses with those, I think, in 2021, 2022, this time frame, I would say. But here today, we're going to do it like we always do it. We're going to start at number 5. We're going to count it down to number 1, RVD figures. I'm going to ask for you guys in your comments down below, give me your top 5. You got to put them in order. That's the hard part. So put your list in order down below of your 5 favorite RVD figures. And that's exactly what we're going to do right here. So without any further ado, let's kick it off at number 5. All right, it took a long time to get this list together. As you guys know, there is a lot of Rob Van Dam figures. Now, Mattel Elites, we only got 2 of them, but Jax, that was his sweet spot. Between deluxe aggressions, regular ruthless aggression, exclusives, stuff like that, there is tons and tons of RVD figures. A lot more than you would think there are, and a lot of them are the same. A lot of the same head sculpt, stuff like that. The difference, of course, with Rob Van Dam is the singlet. So a lot of it comes down to what singlet do you like the best when you're picking these. That's just kind of the way it goes. Even with the 2 Mattels, they got the same body, same head. Obviously, pinless joints, the thumbs, things like that are a little bit different, but you get what I mean. It really does come to what gear and what singlet of RVD do you like the best. And I guess there's other characters out there that the same thing happens. But let's kick it off at number 5. Number 5, we are going to Jax. We're going to Jax Ruthless Aggression, but we're going to the Adrenaline series, which is the 2-packs. And this was a 2-pack in Series 12 with Rey Mysterio. And there it is. I was like, where did I put it? Where did I put it? But here it is. It's old RVD. You guys know I do love the Jax Ruthless Aggression figures. One of my all-time favorite lines ever. I really felt they took it to the next level. The Deluxe Aggression took it to a level after that. And then here we are with Mattel's, but I do love the singlet on this one. A little Jax with it being bare on the back, but the nice dragon. As we know, RVD had dragons all the time. A lot of Dungeons and Dragons playing time, apparently, in his off time. Smoking pot, playing Dungeons and Dragons. I just imagine that's a Friday night for RVD, but maybe I'm wrong. But great head sculpt on RVD. I always like this one. Always a good ponytail here. If you're buying these used, you got to make sure you got a ponytail because those get broken off by kids, of course. Nice fisted hand, glove hand on here. But then the dragon, the RVD spray paint, iconic singlet for me. Just a special one. And I always like this body for RVD too. Maybe a little bit small, but it just felt like it worked right for his height and everything and the body style of this era of figures. But this one, number 5 for me, Adrenaline Series 12, the 2-pack with RVD and Rey Mysterio. All right, number 4 could very well be his most bright and colorful singlet in action figure form. So at number 4 for me, once again, Jax Ruthless Aggression. But we go this time to the pay-per-view series. We go to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view series for this RVD, and this is a really, really good one. A little smaller body mold as we talked about, but I absolutely love the hands. This is where we first started to get the thumbs. You know, we just finally got the thumbs for RVD in Mattel. Think about that. Jakks going all the way back to 2007, let's call this. We got the thumbs on our RVD figure. So it's funny how some of that works, but just such an iconic singlet here, at least as popping on the shelf. And I remember seeing this at Toys R Us, KB Toys back in the day. This one always popped out with the bright blue, bright red. Van Damme on the side of the feet right here. Just really, really cool. Ponytail as always with RVD, but the cool, colorful singlet, then the addition of the two hands. Man, you can't beat that. I'm here for that all day long, and that's why this RVD from the Royal Rumble Jakks Ruthless Aggression style figures comes in at number 4. All right, we're at the halfway point in our RVD countdown. We're at the number 3 spot. Make sure you put your top 5 in the comments down below and put it from 5 to number 1. That's the challenging. That's the fun part. That's what I had to do here. So make sure you put that in the comments down below. And I got to tell you, number 3, I would assume is about on everybody's list. Everybody's been excited for this figure, and this is the most recent Rob Van Dam figure. Has not hit the stores yet, but if you go to a place like Wrestling Collector Shop, use discount code Kyle10 to save, you can pick this bad boy up now, but it should be in the stores month and a half, 2 months. What is time anymore? But number 3 for me, Elite Series 91 RVD. And I think there's a lot of people that are saying this is number 1 all day long. Not for me, though. I like this figure a whole lot. This is definitely one of the best figures of Rob Van Dam, I should say, that we've had in quite some time, in many, many years, and we haven't got a lot of RVDs. The last one before this, I believe, was Elite 27. So there was a lot of demand for this, going to be a lot of demand going forward. One of his most iconic outfits, the Tiger Stripes. The Tiger Stripe Jakks edition did not make my list. I like this one more than that one, but very iconic singlet for RVD. Obviously, the thumbs, the pinless joints to be able to do the pose, that's a game changer for a lot of people. So I understand why a lot of people have this very, very high on their list. But there's reasons for number 1 and number 2 for me that don't have quite the reason that this one would jump to number 1. And we'll get to those as we do number 1 and 2. But 91, a very, very solid figure. Very cool. Got to grab the ECW TV title. I grabbed it off a Bam Bam Bigelow figure. Just makes this one whole. So it's really good to have RVD back in the Elite lineup. Hopefully we start getting him on a decent clip. He's got so many singlets like we talked about. There's a lot of looks we can get for RVD, and I'm here for every single one of them. So number 3 for me, Elite Series 91 from Mattel. All right, we're to the final 2 RVD figures, and number 2 is a special one for me. Now, it might not have all the bells and whistles of that Mattel one, but this one came out in 2004, and it was a special event, a special thing, and you guys remember the store Best Buy. It's still around here. It's based in Minnesota, Minneapolis area. Best Buy would do a lot of pack-ins. DVDs were all the rage in the late 90s, 2000s. Some people still collect DVDs, and I don't blame you if you do for a lot of reasons. But DVD sales were at an all-time high, and pack-ins were a thing. WWE, no different. Jakks, no different. 2004, you got the ECW Best Buy exclusive RVD box. You bought the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view DVD, and you got this RVD for free. And old Kyle, it was a touch-and-go one. As Kyle was in college at the time when this was coming out, and I had to have this RVD. And they always said limited quantities, you know. I had 3 Best Buys in my area, and I remember waiting because Best Buy opened at 10 a.m. I had class at 10:30 I had to get to, and I had some kind of a test. There was a reason I couldn't miss class, and I got to tell you, Kyle, Mr. Perfect Attendance, never missed a day of school. Just amazing. Never missed high school day, never missed a class in college. I always show up. I'm always there. I never call in sick for work. That's just the way I am. Always have been. I recommend it. I recommend it for you. But I didn't want to be late to class. I didn't want to miss out on this. So I was first in line at the door, and I think people were like, why is this kid here? But, you know, I was worried it was going to sell out. It didn't. They ended up having this for like weeks after, of course. But I remember being so hyped for this. I wanted the DVD especially as well. But to get a free figure with your DVD was awesome. It just felt awesome. Couldn't wait. Couldn't wait to get an RVD. RVD, one of my all-time favorites at the time, still an all-time favorite. There was a lot of reasons I was here for this, but whenever I see this figure, I remember that day waiting in line at Best Buy, checking my watch all the time. Am I going to make it to class? Am I going to make it? I did make it. All was good, but it was close. It was down to the wire. I'm glad I did it, but it's the nostalgia that. It's RVD. It's the story that goes with it. Just brings this one a lot farther up than maybe some others have it on their list. And I got to think there's a lot of people that have this figure that didn't want it or just got it because they wanted the DVD. They got the figure with it. And it's funny how those things go. So for a lot of people, maybe a lot of people that bought that DVD, this is their favorite RVD figure of all time. And it's their only RVD figure of all time. So that is always a possibility as well. But for number 2, for me, the Best Buy exclusive, Rob Van Dam. All right, we've come to the end. We've come to the number 1 spot in our RVD Top 5 countdown. As usual, make sure you put your list in the comments down below and put them in order. That's the challenging, fun part. And while you're here, thumbs up the video, give it a whole like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and of course, ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. But number 1 for me didn't take a lot. This is the one that popped into my head when I started my list, and that's where it stayed. Is I always sleep on these for about a day or two, and then I go to it, and they do change from time to time. But this one started as number 1 and ended at number 1, and this is a special one. Much like that Best Buy exclusive was a special moment in time, this was a special one for a lot of us out there, especially hardcore RVD fans. You know, we were sad ECW closed down. We were excited when he went to the WWE, and we were always rooting for the guy. We were always rooting for RVD to climb to the top of the mountain, and his time finally came, and it was forever put into figure form in a 1 of 5,000 Jakks Ruthless Aggression style exclusive figure. Absolutely amazing RVD as he won the ECW title and, of course, the WWE Championship. We'll never forget that moment. It was really unfortunate, the Sabu incident with him and, you know, smoking weed on the road and getting arrested and losing the title. Man, talk about a derailment of the 10th degree, but an absolutely beautiful moment in time figure here. I love the exclusive packaging, the ECW soft goods shirt here, the 2 beautiful title belts, and these just aren't your run-of-the-mill Jakks title belts. These are colored-in Jakks title belts. Love them. Beautiful, beautiful. RVD, what can you say about the Jakks figures? A lot of them are the same, but it comes down to the beautiful singlets with them. But just a fabulous figure. 1 of 5,000, very hard to get, especially at this moment in time. I mean, this is a $100+ figure, mint on card. Now it's funny how it's really shot up over the last few years, but 1 of 5,000, always making it special. Jakks Ruthless Aggression style, you guys know I'm here for it. And then the moment of timeness of him winning the title belts. So just quite the scene, quite a time for wrestling, and one of the big, I don't know about shocking moments in wrestling history, but one of the best feel-good moments in my wrestling figure and wrestling watching career was engulfed in all this ECW renaissance that we had in the WWE in the mid-2000s or so. Just a very, very solid figure. Can't speak highly enough about it. If you got a chance to get it, I would recommend picking it up. You can't go wrong with it. But you can't really go wrong with any of the RVD figures we talked about. Very easily could have made this a top 10, but we stuck it at top 5. Maybe one day down the line, a few years, as we know Mattel's going to come out with a lot more RVD figures, it'll be interesting how those work their way into a top 5 or top 10 list in the future. But there it is. That's my number 1. It's the 1 of 5,000 Jakks Ruthless Aggression exclusive RVD. Make sure you put yours in the comments and then follow me on social media and subscribe to the channel like I always say. So there it is for the RVD top 5 list. I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.